Hey guys, I never thought I would ever film something like this, but here I am. This is going to be long, messy, and honestly kind of embarrassing, but I feel like I need to share it. Maybe somebody out there can learn from my mistake, or at least feel less alone if you've been in something similar. This is the story of how I accidentally became the other woman. And no, I didn't know. I thought I was the only one. I thought he was mine, but he already had someone else. And the way I found out completely broke me. Meeting him. I met Ryan at a coffee shop near my job. It was one of those cliché moments you see in movies. I spilled my drink. He laughed, handed me some napkins, and somehow we started talking. He was charming, funny, attentive. He made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. At first, I didn't think much of it, but then he came back the next day, and the day after. Soon it became our little ritual, seeing each other in the mornings before work. One day he asked for my number, and from then on, it felt like something magical had started. The first week of texting was constant. Good morning messages, funny memes, late-night conversations about our dreams and fears. He seemed so genuine, so invested. He asked questions, remembered details about my life, made me feel like I mattered. Our first date was simple, dinner at a small Italian place, but it felt perfect. He brought flowers, he opened doors. He looked into my eyes and told me he hadn't felt this way about someone in a long time, and I believed him, why wouldn't I? From that moment on, we were inseparable, or at least I thought we were. The early signs. In the beginning, everything was exciting. We went on walks at night, stayed up late talking, kissed under the streetlights like we were in some cheesy romance movie. I kept telling my friends, I think I found the one. But looking back, there were signs. He never called me after 9 p.m. If I tried, he wouldn't pick up. He would text instead, saying he was tired or busy. At the time, I thought it was normal. Some people just don't like late-night calls. He never invited me over to his place. We always hung out at mine, or in public. I'd ask about his apartment, and he'd say things like, "It's a mess. I don't want you to see it yet," or "I'm renovating. It's not ready." I believed him. On weekends, he sometimes disappeared. He'd say he was visiting family or had work projects. I never questioned it. I trusted him. My friends, though, they weren't convinced. One even said, "Are you sure he's not hiding something? It's weird you've never been to his place." Never been to? I laughed it off. I said, "Of course not. Why would he lie? He's amazing." But deep down, maybe a small part of me wondered, falling deeper. The thing is, Ryan had this way of making me forget my doubts. Whenever I felt uneasy, he would do something sweet, bring me lunch at work, surprise me with flowers, write me little notes. He always knew how to pull me back in. I remember one night, we were lying on my couch watching movies, and he looked at me and said, "I don't know how I got so lucky. You're incredible." My heart melted. I told myself, "See? He's serious about you. Stop doubting." We started saying "I love you" after a couple of months. It felt fast, but it also felt right. Or at least I wanted it to feel right. I introduced him to some of my friends. They liked him, but they also said he was hard to read. One even told me, "He feels a little distant, like he's not all in." I brushed it off. I said, "He's just private." But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I just didn't know what. The red flags get bigger. As time went on, the cracks started to show. One night, I called him at 8:30, and a woman's voice answered. She hung up immediately. I asked him about it later, and he laughed. He said it was his cousin messing with his phone. I wanted to believe him, so I did. Another time, I noticed he wore a ring on a chain around his neck. I asked about it, and he said it belonged to his dad, who passed away. I thought it was sweet, but later I found out that wasn't true. The biggest red flag came when I asked to post a picture of us on Instagram. He froze for a second, then smiled and said, "I like keeping my personal life private. Let's just keep this between us for now." That hurt, but I told myself, not everyone likes to be online. It's fine. I kept excusing everything because I didn't want to lose him, because I thought what we had was real. The discovery. And then, everything came crashing down. It was a Saturday afternoon. I decided to surprise him with his favorite coffee. I had never been to his place, but I remembered him once mentioning the street he lived on. I looked it up, guessed the building, and hoped I was right. When I knocked on the door, a girl answered. She looked about my age. She smiled politely and said, "Hi, can I help you?" I froze. I stammered, I'm looking for Ryan." Her face changed instantly. Her smile dropped. She said, "I'm his girlfriend." "Who are you?" I swear my whole body went cold. My hands started shaking. My voice cracked as I said, I'm his girlfriend too." We just stared at each other, both of us realizing in that moment that we weren't crazy, but he was a liar. She invited me in. We sat down. She showed me photos of them together, vacations, holidays, anniversaries. They had been together for 3 years. 3 years. While I was falling in love with him, she had been living with him. I couldn't breathe. I felt sick. Tears just started pouring down my face. And then he walked in. The look on his face when he saw us both sitting there, priceless. He stuttered, "It's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. We both started yelling. She was screaming at him. I was crying. He was trying to explain, but his words meant nothing. In that moment, everything I thought I had with him shattered into pieces. The aftermath. After that day, I cut all contact with him. So did she. We actually ended up talking for hours, realizing how many lies he told both of us. It wasn't just cheating, it was manipulation. It was years of deceit. I felt so stupid. I felt used. I kept asking myself, how could I not see it? How could I ignore all the signs? For weeks, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I avoided everyone because I was so ashamed. Even though I hadn't known, I still felt guilty. Like somehow it was my fault for being blind. Ryan tried texting me later. He said, "I really liked you. I just couldn't leave her. You both mean so much to me." I blocked him because I finally realized I wasn't special to him. Neither of us were. We were just his game pieces, and he didn't care about the destruction he left behind. Reflection. Now looking back, I know I wasn't the villain. I wasn't the one who lied. I wasn't the one who cheated, but I was still hurt. I was still betrayed. And I still lost months of my life to someone who never truly belonged to me. What I learned is this: if someone avoids your questions, if someone hides you from their world, if someone always has an excuse, trust your gut, because the truth always comes out, and it's better to know sooner than later. I learned that my worth isn't defined by someone else's lies. I deserve honesty, I deserve respect, and so do you. So, yeah, that's my story. I became the other woman without even knowing. It broke me for a while, but it also taught me never to settle for half-truths again. Thanks for listening. And if you've ever been through something like this, drop a comment below. Maybe we can help each other heal.